Thanks, Stephanie. Good afternoon. I'm Yu-Wen Chien. It's a great pleasure of mine to be here to talk about our recent findings on the seroepidemiology of dengue and Zika virus infection in Taiwan and also in migrant workers. I want to talk about the migrant workers first. So a little background. Although the vector, the Aedes mosquitoes are prevalent in Taiwan, but dengue virus and Zika virus are not considered to be endemic in Taiwan. So dengue outbreak in Taiwan are presumably to be caused by imported virus from Southeast Asia countries through frequent travel and trade, and then transmitted by the local mosquitoes in Taiwan. So according to the latest statistic, the number of visitor arrival from Southeast Asia countries is over 2 million in 2018. And also, just over 2 million Taiwanese people travel to Southeast Asian countries every year. So this figure shows the number of imported dengue cases over the past 20 years. So we can see that in the recent 4 years, over 300 imported cases are reported every year. And up to date, the 20 cases of imported Zika virus infections have been confirmed. And the majority came from the Southeast Asia countries. The iceberg phenomenon for the dengue virus infection is well known, and those who are reported to the surveillance system only represent a very small proportion of all the infected people, because the majority of the infections are parent infections which cannot be detected. So a little background about the migrant workers in Taiwan. Currently over 700,000 migrant workers are working in Taiwan now, according to the latest statistic, mainly from 4 Southeast Asian countries: Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. So fever screening has been implemented in international airports since 2003 after the SARS outbreak. And one study found that approximately 20% of the imported dengue cases detected at the international airport were migrant workers. So just they contribute a lot to the transmission. And also we have a very close relationship, economic relationship and communication to Southeast Asian countries. But the current situation of Zika virus infection in Southeast Asia remains unclear. So we performed a seroprevalence study of Zika virus and dengue virus infections among migrant workers. So the study populations, all the migrant workers are required by law to receive pre-employment health examination within 3 days of arrival to Taiwan. So we recruit 600 newly arrived migrant workers who received the pre-employment examinations in the regional hospital in Thailand between June and August in 2017. So the 4 countries, 115 workers from each country. The laboratory testing, we use commercial ELISA kits, the focused diagnostic, to detect IgM and IgG against dengue virus. And also commercial ELISA kit for Zika virus infection. For the IgM, we use in vials because one study showed that it has higher sensitivity than the Yu-Wen. But for the IgG, we use the Yu-Wen, the ELISA. To confirm the results, we performed plaque reduction PRNT to test the neutralizing antibody titers against the 2 virus and calculate the titer. PRT15 and PRT90 titers. So here's the result, the zero prevalence of dengue IgM. We all know that IgM represents recent infections, and the IgM, for the focus diagnostic, the IgM persists for about 6 months using the focus ELISA. So you can see that we find of the 600 workers, 3 of them has positive IgM, which means just 3 of them maybe have been infected 6 months prior their coming to Taiwan, 1 from Philippines and 2 from Thailand. So the overall seroprevalence was 0.5%. Okay. So this is the seroprevalence of anti-Zika virus IgM. And to our surprise, the seroprevalence of anti-Zika virus IgM was much higher than the dengue IgM. So we found that 18 of the workers have positive anti-Zika virus IgM, and the 7 from Indonesia, and 5 from Philippines, and 3 from Thailand. And the overall positive rate is 3%, means 3% of the workers. The IgM persistence is about 3 months, so it suggests that probably 3% of them may have have been infected 3 months prior to coming to Taiwan. Then this shows the seroprevalence of anti-dengue virus IgG. So as expected, in these dengue hyperendemic countries, the seroprevalence of anti-dengue virus IgG is very high, over 90% in over 90% in Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand. But was much lower in the Vietnamese workers, only 46%. And overall seroprevalence of dengue virus IgG is 80%. For the Zika virus IgG, we also found very high seroprevalence, about 40 to 50% in Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand, much lower in Vietnam, and the overall seroprevalence of anti-Zika virus IgG is 38%. So we're more interested in the Zika virus infection, especially recent Zika virus infections, and we found 3% of them has positive anti-Zika virus IgG, but whether they are true positive or false positive due to cross-reactivity. So we use the WHO criteria to define the confirmed case. So for the WHO criteria, a person with laboratory combination of recent Zika virus infection, you have to detect the virus. You have to detect the RNA or antigen or the virus, or you have to have positive IgM and also the PRT titer against Zika virus greater than 20, and the Zika PRT90 titer ratio greater to 4 times compared to other flavivirus. So we use this criteria to classify whether those who have positive anti-Zika virus IgM is true positive. So here's the result, PRT results from 18 workers with positive anti-Zika virus IgM. So we can see that all of them, they were dengue virus IgM negative. So it means that the anti-Zika virus IgM ELISA do not have cross-reactivity with dengue virus IgM. And also, but the dengue IgG were all positive. This is as expected because this is a hyperendemic countries. And then 10 of them has positive Zika virus IgG. And if we use the WHO criteria, the PRT90 criteria, we found 6 of them, they fulfill the criteria that 4 times PRT positive IgM and the PRT titer against Zika virus 4 times greater than dengue virus. So we found that 6 of them, just 1%. So discussion. So we found serologic evidence of recent Zika virus infections, IgM 3%, and if you use WHO definitions, 1% among the healthy workers from 4 Southeast Asia countries. And as I said before, the anti-Zika virus IgM persists for approximately 12 weeks, so it means that probably 1% of the healthy workers coming from the Southeast Asia have been infected with dengue 3 months prior to their entry to Taiwan. And the seroprevalence of anti-Zika virus IgM was higher than that of anti-dengue virus IgM, suggesting that the Zika virus transmission was severely underestimated in this country. The point where only very few cases of Zika-related microencephalopathy have been reported in Southeast Asia country, despite of such high seroprevalence still unclear. But the difference in virus strain and host factors, as well as the limitation of the surveillance system, are possible explanations. And also, we know that the median duration of the Zika viremia is about 2 weeks. Therefore, some of the workers might have a chance to enter Taiwan during their viremial period and have the potential to spread Zika virus through Aedes mosquitoes in Taiwan. The overall seroprevalence of anti-Zika IgG among these workers was approximately 40%, but whether this is true or due to cross-reactivity antibody against other flavivirus, we still don't know. The serologic test to differentiate Zika virus infection from other flavivirus infection remains a big challenge, especially for the IgG test. And in our study, we found that the workers from Vietnam has much lower, higher seroprevalence of Zika and dengue virus infections as compared to the other 3 countries. This is because most of the workers in Taiwan originally came from the rural area in subtropical northern Vietnam, where the population density and also the climate are not suitable to establish endemic transmission cycles of the mosquito-borne viruses. So let's move to the seroprevalence studies in Taiwan and Thailand in 2015. So a little background on the dengue epidemiology in Taiwan. Historically, 3 island-wide dengue fever outbreaks in Taiwan during the first half of the 20th century. 1915, 1931, and 1942. And the most severe one occurred in the 1942 and 3, where an estimated 5/6 of the population on the island were infected, presumably due to the tremendous human migration during World War II. After that, no dengue outbreak had been detected on the main island of Taiwan between 1949 to 1986, probably because the international travel was restricted under the martial law. But since 1987, dengue epidemic with various sites have been founded in southern Taiwan almost every year, mainly in Kaohsiung City. We see these figures several times today, and especially in 2015, we have a very severe dengue epidemic in southern Taiwan. So the background about Tainan is where we are now. Tainan is located in southern Taiwan and has a population of 1.8 million. Taiwan usually had small dengue outbreaks involving only several hundred people per year before 2015, except in 2007, where a large dengue serotype 1 epidemic resulting in 1,800 cases. And no major dengue epidemic caused by dengue serotype 2 in Thailand before 2015. And the dengue epidemic in Thailand in 2015, the laboratory confirmed case is over 22,000 cases, and the case fatality is about 0.8%. And about 90% of the confirmed cases were adults and elderly. We conducted a zero-prevalence study in Thailand during the end of the dengue epidemic in 2015, and to estimate the true dengue infection incidence and the herd immunity. As we said before, the reported cases only represent a small proportion of the infected cases. And also we test the Zika virus antibody and to investigate whether they will recognize the Zika virus transmission during this epidemic, because we know that the clinical symptoms of dengue and Zika virus infections are similar. So we do convenience sampling. We recruit healthy adults in 5 administrative districts. 3 districts with higher dengue high incidence of reported dengue cases. West Central District, North District, the overall incidence is 4.5% in this district, and the East District. We also recruit workers who receive health examinations in 2 districts with lower incidence of reported cases for comparison. Again, we use commercial ELISA kit to test dengue virus and Zika virus. And for the Zika virus, we only test sample collected from Western District, the district with the highest incidence of reported dengue cases. Again, we perform PRNT to confirm the results in the subgroup of samples. So here's the result of IgM. We can see that the zero prevalence of IgM increase with age, and the overall zero prevalence of IgM is 6.8%. And in district with the highest incidence of reported cases, the zero prevalence of IgM is 22%. We perform multivariate logistic regression and found that people aged over 50 years old and people live in districts with highest incidence of dengue reported cases and have family members diagnosed with dengue are significant risk factors for recent dengue infections. This is the zero prevalence of IgG also increased with age, and the overall zero prevalence is 17%. And in district with the highest incidence is the zero prevalence of IgG is 40%. And we test over 200 samples from the West Central District. And we found that none of them had positive anti-Zika virus IgM, so suggesting that the commercial ELISA kit is quite specific. And we found that 9 people have positive anti-Zika virus IgG, and we also performed the PRNT to see whether they are true positive or false positive. And we can see that for those with positive IgG, their dengue virus IgM, 7 of them were positive, and 8 of the 9 people with positive Zika virus IgG had positive dengue IgG. For PIT, we see that all the people have high titers. Those for positive IgM, dengue IgM has high titers against the serotype 2, dengue virus serotype 2, just because this is a dengue serotype 2 epidemic. And if we use the PIT90 criteria, the WHO PIT criteria, we identified one cases with very high titer against high PIT90 titers against the Zika virus. Not just 4 times higher, it's more than 10 times higher to the other dengue viruses. So discussion is comparing the overall seroprevalence of anti-dengue virus IgM with the overall incidence of reported dengue cases. We estimated that 1 out of the 3.7 dengue infections were reported to the health authority in Taiwan. So this is very close to the asymptomatic infections. So suggesting the surveillance system in Taiwan in this epidemic is very good. Most of the symptomatic cases were reported. And this is different from the literature. The Singapore, only 1 out of 23 to 35 of dengue infections were notified in 2004 and 2007. We believe that widespread use of rapid diagnostic were the key because which facilitated diagnosis and reporting of dengue cases in this epidemic. And also, unlike many dengue hyperendemic countries where children were most affected, it was found that the risk of recent infections increased with age, especially for those who aged over 50 years. Why older people have higher risk of dengue infection in this epidemic is not known. More study to investigate the behavior and environmental risk factors for the older people are required. The overall seroprevalence of anti-dengue virus IgG remains low in Taiwan, especially in younger age group and in districts with very low dengue incidence in 2015. Suggesting that explosive dengue outbreak can still happen in the future due to a large proportion of susceptible people. And the overall seroprevalence in the elderly is 48%. But if we classify the elder people using 73 as a cut point, those who age over 33 experienced the island-wide severe epidemic occurred in 1942. We found that these people, the seroprevalence IgG was over 80%, over 70%. And the very old people, they have higher risk of severe disease and high mortality. So if we need to choose a target for vaccination, they are probably the target group. But the current vaccine was only approved for people aged 9 to 45 years old. So studies regarding the efficacy of safety of dengue vaccines in the senior population is urgently needed. And also, a recent study found that in patients with Zika, the highest neutralizing antibody titer were to the Zika virus and only have very low cross-reactivities with dengue virus. So in primary infections and also in dengue, in people with previous dengue infections, the Zika virus type, the PID titers was very high. Therefore, we found that people have 10 times higher PID titers with Zika virus. So we found one participant with very strong serologic evidence of past Zika virus infections, and she denied having traveled abroad. So suggesting that detected indigenous Zika virus transmission might have occurred in Taiwan, as we see in the migrant workers, the transmission of Zika virus infection in Taiwan and in the Southeast Asia is probably severely underestimated. Yeah. I would like to thank to all the collaborators at the National Taiwan University and the hospitals and also the funding agencies. And thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to take any question you might have.